In the early centuries of Christianity, before the creeds and established doctrines, there was a vibrant marketplace of ideas. Among these diverse beliefs was Docetism, a perspective that argued Christ's physical body was not genuine. Understanding Docetism gives us a glimpse into the intellectual ferment of early Christianity and the struggles to define orthodoxy, particularly its complex and often misunderstood relationship with Gnostic thought. It's crucial to understand that while Docetism and Gnosticism shared common ground, they were not identical, and the connection is more nuanced than simply labeling Docetism as quote-unquote Gnostic. One of the core beliefs of Docetism was the assertion that Christ's physical body was not a genuine material substance, but rather an illusion, a phantom, or a mere appearance. This wasn't simply a claim that Jesus' body was somehow different or more spiritual than ordinary human bodies. It was a complete denial of its material reality. Docetists, influenced by the broader tendency within sub-Gnostic circles to view the material world as inherently flawed, believed that the divine Christ, being pure spirit, could not truly inhabit such a realm. This wasn't necessarily universal Gnostic belief, but some Gnostic systems, while still emphasizing the spiritual, allowed for a more nuanced understanding of Christ's presence in the material world, even if it was often seen as temporary or symbolic. This belief in an illusory body stemmed from a deep-seated dualism, a common thread in many Gnostic systems, but not always expressed in the same way. While Docetism aligned with the more radical forms of dualism that saw the material world as inherently evil, other Gnostics viewed it as simply inferior or as a place of testing. They might have seen the material world as a necessary, though imperfect, stage in the soul's journey. For Docetists, the perceived corruption of the matter made it inconceivable for the divine Christ to genuinely participate in it. This rigid separation between the divine and the material is a key characteristic of Docetism. What appeared to be Jesus' physical form, his body, his suffering, his death, was, according to Docetism, simply a temporary and deceptive guise. It allowed him to interact with humanity, to teach it to perform miracles without actually sharing in their material existence. This illusory body was a convenient means of communication, but it did not represent a genuine incarnation. This distinction is crucial for understanding why Docetism was considered heretical. It fundamentally altered the understanding of Christ's sacrifice. Docetism often found fertile ground within Gnostic systems of belief, but it's crucial to understand that Gnosticism was not a monolithic movement. While many Gnostics shared a dualistic worldview, their understanding of Christ's nature varied considerably. Some Gnostics, like the Valentinians, developed complex cosmologies with multiple divine emanations, the eons, and Christ's role within these systems differed significantly. For example, in some Valentinian systems, Christ was seen as a higher eon who descended to reveal divine knowledge, but not necessarily as fully incarnate, in the way Orthodox Christians understood it. He might have been seen as a spiritual being who temporarily inhabited a human form for a specific purpose. The Gnostic influence on Docetism is evident in the way the Docetists explain Christ's presence in the world, often using the analogy of an actor on a stage. This idea is present in some Gnostic texts, emphasizing the apparent rather than real nature of Christ's earthly existence. However, other Gnostic texts, like parts of the Nag Hammadi library, represent a more complex picture. Some texts, while still emphasizing the spiritual, explore the idea of Christ's descent and ascent through the various realms, suggesting a more active engagement with the material world than Docetism allows. They might describe Christ's journey as a process of gaining knowledge or overcoming obstacles in the lower realms, a journey that has implications for humanity's own spiritual path. Also, some Gnostic groups, like the Sethians, focused on the idea of a divine spark within humanity, a concept that could be seen as analogous to Christ's presence. This focus on the inner spiritual potential of humanity could lead to different interpretations of Christ's role. Instead of emphasizing his physical form, these Gnostics might have focused on his role as a revealer of knowledge that awakens the divine spark within individuals. This internal focus is a key difference between some Gnostic systems and the more historically focused approach of Orthodox Christianity. It also highlights the diversity of views on salvation within early Christianity. The Orthodox Christian doctrine of the Incarnation, the belief that God truly became human in Jesus Christ, was challenged directly by Docetism. Orthodox theology, as it developed, emphasized the importance of Christ's genuine humanity for salvation, drawing heavily from scriptural accounts and the teachings of the apostles. It argued that Christ had to be fully human, sharing in our physical existence, in order to represent humanity, to experience human suffering, and to offer redemption from sin and death. The incarnation was not just a theological concept, but a crucial element of salvation history, grounding the Christian faith in the historical reality of Jesus' life. Docetism, by denying the reality of Christ's physical body, effectively rejected this understanding of the incarnation. If Christ's humanity was not genuine, then the orthodox understanding of his atoning sacrifice and resurrection was called into question. The incarnation, as understood by Orthodox Christians, was essential for the efficacy of Christ's redemptive work. It was through his genuine humanity that Christ could identify with humanity and offer a path to reconciliation with God. Docetism, in contrast, presented a Christ who was fundamentally separate from humanity, making his sacrifice seem less relevant to human experience. The denial of the incarnation in Docetism had far-reaching implications, and not only challenged the understanding of Christ's nature, but also the nature of salvation itself. Orthodox Christianity emphasized the importance of Christ's physical resurrection as a guarantee of believers' own future resurrection. If Christ's body was not real, then the hope of resurrection was also called into question. The incarnation, therefore, was not just a doctrine about Christ, but a doctrine about humanity's destiny, tying human hope to the historical reality of Christ's life and resurrection. The crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ are central events of the Christian faith. They are the foundation of Christian belief in salvation and the hope of eternal life. Docetism, by denying the reality of Christ's physical body, undermined the significance of these pivotal events. If Christ's suffering and death on the cross were merely an illusion, then they could not have atoning power. The resurrection would be meaningless if there was no real body to raise from the dead. This is why Orthodox Christian writers like Irenaeus emphasize the importance of Christ's real suffering and resurrection as the basis of Christian hope, connecting these events directly to the possibility of human redemption and resurrection. The Orthodox Christian understanding of the crucifixion and resurrection emphasized the importance of Christ's physical suffering and death as a real sacrifice for the sins of humanity. It stressed the reality of his resurrection as a demonstration of God's power over death and a promise for future resurrection for believers. Docetism's denial of Christ's physical body effectively emptied these central Christian beliefs of their meaning and power. The physical reality of Christ's suffering and death was essential for its atoning significance. The physical reality of his resurrection was essential for its symbolic power as a victory over death, offering a tangible hope for believers. The challenge posed by Docetism to the crucifixion and resurrection was not simply a theological debate. It had profound implications for the Christian understanding of salvation. If Christ's suffering and death were not real, then how could they truly offer redemption from sin and death? If his resurrection was not a physical reality, then what hope was there for believers to be raised from the dead? The Orthodox response to Docetism helped to solidify the importance of the physical reality of these events for Christian faith and practice, grounding Christian hope in the historical reality of Christ's life. Soteriology, which is the study of salvation, is a central aspect of Christian theology. Orthodox Christian soteriology emphasizes the importance of Christ's true humanity and his atoning sacrifice on the cross for the redemption of humanity. It argues that Christ, as both God and human, is uniquely qualified to bridge the gap between God and humanity and to offer a real and effective salvation from sin and death. This understanding of salvation is rooted in the belief that God truly became human in Jesus Christ, sharing in human experience and offering redemption from within humanity itself. This emphasis on Christ's shared humanity is a key difference between Orthodox soteriology and the implications of Docetism. Docetism, by denying the reality of Christ's physical body and the significance of his crucifixion and resurrection, had a profound impact on soteriology. If Christ's humanity was not genuine, then how could he truly represent humanity and offer redemption? How could he truly understand and emphasize with human suffering? Docetism raised fundamental questions about the nature of salvation and the means by which it is achieved. It challenged the Orthodox understanding of salvation as grounded in the historical reality of Christ's life, death, and resurrection. The Orthodox understanding of salvation emphasizes the real participation of Christ in human experience, including suffering and death as essential for his redemptive work. Docetism, by contrast, presented a Christ who seemed detached from the very human realities he was supposed to redeem. The Orthodox response to Docetism helped to clarify and solidify the Christian understanding of salvation as rooted in the real and historical incarnation and crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It affirmed the importance of Christ's true humanity as essential for his role as Redeemer and mediator between God and humanity. The debate surrounding Docetism helped to shape the development of Christian soteriology, emphasizing the significance of the incarnation and physical reality of Christ's saving work. It underscored the importance of Christ's shared humanity, not just his divine nature, in the process of human salvation. While Docetism is an ancient heresy, its core concern, the tension between the spiritual and the material, the divine and the human, continues to resonate. Even today, we grapple with questions about the nature of reality, the meaning of embodiment, and the relationship between our physical and spiritual selves. Exploring Docetism and its complex relationship with Gnosticism can give us a new perspective on these enduring questions and their continued importance in our lives. It reminds us that the theological debates of the early church weren't simply abstract intellectual exercises, but rather attempts to grapple with fundamental questions about human existence and the nature of the divine, questions that continue to challenge and inspire us centuries later. The story of Docetism serves as a reminder that the search for understanding the divine is an ongoing journey filled with diverse perspectives and evolving interpretations.